Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Top 5 Wednesday. The topic for this week is spooky settings, and when I sat down to think about it, it felt quite familiar, and then when I started looking through my old Top 5 Wednesday videos I realised that I have actually done this exact topic before last year, so I will leave a link to last year's Spooky Settings Top 5 Wednesday video in the description down below so you can have a watch of that, and if you haven't seen it I guess you can get a few more of my favourite spooky settings through that. So of the settings I'm going to talk about in this video, two of them do actually feature in last year's video because I just couldn't think of two more settings that I felt were quite as spooky as those two. So I'm just going to get right on into it. So the first one I want to talk to you about is Black London from the Shades of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab, and there's just something about really empty, desolate landscapes that I just find really chilling. And if you haven't read this trilogy, A Black London is a place that has basically been consumed by magic and nothing's there anymore, nobody lives there, there are a lot of mysteries surrounding it, and it's just really empty and bare, and I find that really creepy. I certainly found Black London really creepy, so yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite spooky settings. The next one I want to talk to you about was in my last year's spooky settings video, and that is Wuthering Heights, of course from Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. It's just this really huge, ominous, dark, cold, haunting house, and you can just feel all of the cold darkness just seeping through all of the walls. I can just feel all of Kathy and Heathcliff's fear and anger and heartbreak in every single wall of the house, and I just find it really chilling. Of course it stands very hugely and alone in the Yorkshire moors, which again just leaves it that really cold, dark, haunting atmosphere. So yeah, I've always been scared of Wuthering Heights as a house, and it's definitely one of my favourite spooky settings. The next one I want to talk to you about was also in my last year's spooky settings video, and that is the Overlook Hotel from The Shining by Stephen King. And it's just so much more than a setting. It's almost like a force, it's like a character that's just terrifying, and it's just hell-bent on sending you crazy. I promise you will never look at empty hotel corridors in the same way again once you've read this book or seen the film, but the book is so much better, of course it is. But it's just so terrifying. It will send you crazy. It will haunt you for life, I promise you. So yeah, definitely the Overlook Hotel is one of my favourite spooky settings. The next one I want to talk to you about is the town of Derry in It by Stephen King. And I've never been so scared of a whole town the way that I'm scared of Derry. It's just so negative, and you can just feel all of those bad vibes. Everyone is just full of fear and anger and sadness, and it's just so cold and haunting. I would imagine that if I was to wander around a place like Derry, I would just be able to sense this overwhelming, inexplicable dread, and that's what Derry is. It is just a place of negativity. It feeds on fear and negativity. So yeah, definitely Derry is one of my favourite spooky settings. And the last one I want to talk to you about is Godric's Hollow from Harry Potter, of course, by J.K. Rowling. I'm showing you Deathly Hallows because, of course, this is the book where Harry and Hermione go back to Godric's Hollow and they uncover all of the terrible secrets and truths and all of the stories of all of the terrible things that have ever happened in Godric's Hollow. And it's just so sad and haunting and eerie and cold, and it's just full of secrets, full of stories of terrible things that have happened. And yeah, it is definitely one of my favourite spooky settings. And that is it for this week's Top 5 Wednesday. What are some of your favourite spooky settings? Please let me know. I will leave all of my social media in the description down below. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.